Hi, my name is Vamsi Patwari, and I did my presentation on the global water shortage. So this is a problem in many places in the world, as it is, and it's only going to get worse with the rate the world's population is growing. But many areas of the world they have a they're suffering a clean water crisis. They have they usually this same water is used for both drinking and bathing and other things like cooking and stuff.
Right.
And right now, it's 660 million people who are living without clean water. Some of them have some source of water that's running, but it's contaminated and it's not suitable for use. And most of these areas are in third world countries or other countries where the infrastructure is not still up. A lot of them are in Africa, South Asia, some in East Asia, and this is a problem that's only going to get worse. It's projected that in about 10 years, 9 or 10 years, 2025, that 1.8 billion people will live in regions that are water stressed. But the clean water problem is not just exclusive to third world countries. It also exists in first world countries, just by far lesser extent. And usually there's definitely running water, but it's not always clean. And so one of the most notable cases today in the media is the Flint, Michigan water crisis. And what that happened was there was some legislation that was passed, or lack thereof, that didn't fix a problem with the pipes, where there's corrosion in the pipes, and that contaminates the water. Here's a picture of a corroded pipe and non-corroded pipes. Corroded pipes in the middle, and the one in the left and right are not corroded. And so the corrosion of the pipes, all that stuff got into the drinking water, which made it contaminated, made it look really nasty, brown looking. And a different problem is in California. In the past couple of years, there have been droughts, and as a result of this, the rate at which people pay for water, it's been pretty high in California, and people have been complaining because there is clean water there, but there's not much of it because of the droughts. And go back.
You might want to go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
'Cause
And actually, in 41 of the 50 United States, according to the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency, the amount of lead in the drinking water is actually higher than it should be allowed, or the approved limit. And this is a problem in most states. I think Florida is one of them. And this can be improved by legislation that improves the infrastructure and makes the companies put higher standards. You can move on. Okay, so most of the water on Earth is obviously not fresh water. It's seawater, salt water, or brackish water. And we can't really use most of it, but there is a process called desalination, which would probably, if we can get a cost-effective way, cost-effective, get a cost-effective method of implementing that, we can greatly increase our reserves of fresh water, clean drinkable water, and it removes minerals like salt particles and other stuff in brackish water or salt water, and converts that into water we can use. But it's not very cost effective, which is why it's not really used that much. And goes. And fresh water is technically a renewable resource, but it's finite. But if you can use more improved method of desalination, fresh water can not technically become infinite, but practically it would be, because we'd recycle it. We'd have so much water we could use from the oceans. And desalination has actually been around for a while, but there's 3 different methods. There's a thermal desalination, reverse osmosis, and then there's electrodialysis. And the oldest method has been used in ancient classical societies, like Greece and Persia, or what used to be Persia, what was once Persia, and it was used on ships mostly. But modern day thermal desalination also uses solar panels now. You can move on. Electrodialysis uses a current to separate the fresh water from the salt water, and it's usually not. The traditional method is not that efficient, but there is a new method that's being worked on called shock electrodialysis, and it uses a different membrane than traditional electrodialysis, but this shock electrodialysis uses a porous membrane. It's going to be made out of tiny glass particles, where pretty much there's a electrical current sent out that creates a shock wave that separates the water into regions of high density and salt, high concentration of salt and lower concentration of salt, and it separates these two streams in the water. Reverse osmosis is actually what it sounds like. It's the reversal of regular osmosis, where you use a semi-permeable membrane to separate things of different concentrations, and it can also be used in desalination with the salt particles. And it uses an applied pressure to overcome the osmotic pressure. Reverse osmosis uses an applied pressure to overcome the osmotic pressure, which would otherwise move particles in the opposite direction.
Next slide.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do you think we'll ever solve the water crisis? And if so, what steps can we take to solve the water crisis right now?
I mean, right now, I don't think we can solve it completely anytime soon. And even right now, there's just like most first world countries use water at a pretty high rate, sometimes more than we need to. Well, there's just this inequality in accessibility of water. In some regions in contrast, especially in like North Africa and some of the Middle East, it's pretty dry, and so they don't have as much access to clean water. But of course, the more developed countries, the better infrastructure, they don't really struggle. But I think it's only gonna become more of a problem in a couple of years. But if we can if we can get a better method of desalination or something else, then we should be fine.
Anything else?
That's it, I guess.
All right. Thank you for your presentation.